Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. So, Mike Johnson. I've been reading Liz Cheney's book, and he seems to be playing an outsized role even back during the 2020 elections. He was the one who was claiming to be a constitutional lawyer and was championing the idea that Texas could somehow tell Pennsylvania how to run their elections, and 3 other states, which is just ludicrous and didn't stand up in courts. And he was sending memos when 110 Republicans voted against certifying the results. He was basically telling them it was okay to do that. There was no, nothing bad would happen out of that. And when they first came to reject the ballots, he was one of the ones that voted to reject Arizona. But that was not one of the 4 states in his amicus brief that he put out there that wasn't legal either. So this guy's shady. Just let's put it that way. He's shady, and he loves being in the Trump orbit. Now, because of his role that he was playing in this could very well mean that he had a part to play in the January 6th insurrection. So I want to throw on Mike Johnson in his role in the January 6th election. I saw that Cash Peters did a reading on, is Jack Smith investigating Mike Johnson? And I'll follow up with that question. So we'll have a little bit of a deeper dive into Mike Johnson. All right, entertainment purposes only. Let's see what we got. Mike Johnson, what's kind of the energy around your role in the January 6th insurrection and that whole coup plot? Okay, so deck's upside down. He's doing it, he's trying to appease Trump. He thinks that if Trump was the greatest president ever, America was never better until it was under Trump, and Trump made America great again. And so his involvement was to appease Trump and to bring on what he felt would be in America's best interest. Again, taking it back to the 50s. It's just up to the rest of us to decide which century of the 50s he was trying to bring it back to. What's that crossed with? With trying to minimize his exposure. He wanted this, but he wanted to minimize his this is not his legal exposure. This is so he could get money. Yep. Money. I think Mike Johnson likes money, and I think he likes money a lot. He doesn't let people know that. And this could be Trump giving Mike Johnson his gold coin. Linda G had talked about Trump and gold coins. And I don't mean like the gold bars that Menendez was found with. She had seen a metaphor of Trump handing people gold coins and they're all excited. And then they were in a pit and started raining and the gold coins melted and were lead and were actually worthless. So I think he was trying to get Trump's blessing and financing. Basically, I think he was trying to, he might have been financially strapped, and this was a way to expand his influence in Trump world and maybe make some of that fat cash, those fat stacks that the other guys were making that he wasn't getting. This might very well be a money play here. In the past, we have the Ten of Swords. I don't, he's just some rep from Louisiana. He really wasn't going anywhere and he wasn't doing anything. Nothing of note. Liz Cheney, I think, said that he started around the same time she did, or he had an office next to him, and they got along fine, but he kind of went off the deep end. Current situation with the January 6th was the King of Cups. Biden was coming in, and he was a threat to the society that he wanted, and it was going to bring an end to Trumpism. Basically, Trumpism was coming to an end because Biden was coming in. So he decided, these could be the 4 states he was going after, trying to suppress their votes and, help with that false election type thing that's going on. Again, I still think, though, he's going for some money here. Overarching situation, the overarching energy, he's a planner. He was part of the planning of the fake electors and part of the planning of overturning the election. So he definitely had a role to play in this. Now, granted, he wrote the amicus brief, so it's pretty obvious he had a role to play in it. But I think there was even more of a planning role in this than what we realize. The lesson to be learned, his planning, his challenging other states' electors led to the insurrection and the fighting at the Capitol. He's connected to it. His planning is directly connected to that fighting. Now, normally I have the fighting as the Five of Wands, and this would be fighting from advantage, so maybe he thought he had a good argument to make. But I'm really thinking that this led to the fighting, because it was the rejecting of the ballots that was giving the Trump supporters hope. And when the ballots weren't getting elected, that's what caused a surge in violence. The violence happened right around that time point. The outcome. The outcome. By doing all this, he got into Trump's good graces. He was a fighter for Trump. He was by Trump's side. So when McCarthy is booted out, guess who gets installed as the Speaker of the House with Trump's blessing, because the MAGA folks would get behind it. They forced this guy through, so nobody really knew what he was doing, but folks knew who he was. Just not enough folks knew who he was. So now he gets his reward. Help an insurrection, become the House Speaker. Become the number 2 in the succession line with only the Vice President ahead of you. He is literally one step away from the presidency. So you can imagine he wants to impeach Joe Biden, get Joe Biden out of there, and then Kamala Harris, becomes the president, and somehow they would try to get her out of power so that he would be the acting president. You can see how this goes, right? Okay. And we know he's trying to get Biden impeached. He wants that impeachment inquiry to go forward. That's getting into the conspiracy theory territory here. We'll just park that one right there. Now, is the DOJ investigating? Is Jack Smith and the Department of Justice, well, we should say Merrick Garland, the Department of Justice, but Jack Smith is the one that's seemingly leading up the charge on the investigations here. Is the DOJ investigating Mike Johnson, excuse me. The DOJ investigating Mike Johnson for his role in the January 6th insurrection, which should fall under the Jack Smith investigation since he's the one who's doing the overall investigation. So Jack Smith, Mike Johnson, is Mike Johnson being investigated by Jack Smith. The world card, bringing things to a conclusion. This could be interpreted that when Jack Smith is wrapping up, not that he's wrapping up investigations. This could be like the Donald Trump trial. He's focusing on that, but that doesn't mean the investigations into others aren't happening. But I think when the Donald Trump trial is done, then you start the next wave of investigations and indictment. More to the point, indictments. I think the investigations are ongoing. It's the indictments that'll come and the victory that comes with it. Is he investigating him? There's a strong push to close this case with a victory. I would say yes, he's being investigated. I don't think this is, we got Trump, we're victorious, we don't need to do any more work. That's not the vibe I get. It could be interpreted that way, but that's not the vibe I get. There's this huge push to really, you know what it is? It's like seal the deal after your victory, and which basically means I think he's going to get a victory on in March, beginning of March, with the Trump trial for the insurrection. They're going to go and they're going to seal everything off, and they're going to go for everybody in this one, or all the key players. Oh, in the past, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. Is Jack Smith investigating it? There's money. Money and women. You know, when I've done readings on Mike Johnson before, you know, it's how he doesn't have a bank account. You know, not even $1,000 checking account or $1,000 savings account. And, you know, guy makes $170,000 a year. Where does his money go? So, you know, I think they're looking at Mike Johnson and they're looking at his money, at his spending and his finances as probably as part of the investigation, so that they have a better understanding of who this person is and how they afford the things that they do and what schemes they have going on. As the saying goes, follow the money, and, you know, you'll learn a lot about the crimes that person is committing. Funny how that card shows up again. Current situation is the Seven of Wands. This was the lesson to be learned. Looking at Johnson's role in the fight for the insurrection, in the trying to beat down the state ballots and everything like that, they can see that he was a player in this one, and they're looking right now. I think what this is, they've looked at his money, and now they're looking at his role and his activities involving in the January 6th insurrection. The overarching energy is the integrity, the values of this person, the delusions. You know, Mike Johnson might be a really odd guy, and they're looking to see, you know, what are his motivations? What are his vices? What's going on with this guy that he would sort of voluntarily do this? What's going on? There's something here. It's like this guy's not right. He's got some weird worldviews or something along those lines. But they're looking into that as well, because this is going to be linked to this. That money and these values are linked. Queen of Swords. There's going to be a hard decision that's going to be made. If it's one of those things where they can't, like, let's say, for instance, and your folks are not going to want to hear this, but it's just as one example. If they can't really nail him down for it, they might just have to cut the investigation and let him go. I think what Cash, it was either Cash or Kim from Intuitive View saw. Maybe I think it was Kim from Intuitive View saw maybe leaving his position, and then, you know, Jack Smith, and they just sort of shrugged their shoulders like, well, you know, he's gone. Yeah, we could go after him, but, you know, yeah, it was Kim on Intuitive View. Now that I think about it, I was listening to it in my car, that they just might let him go because they've got other fish to fry and he's not as big an urgency. But there is there's a decision that needs to be made if they're going to pursue this guy or not. Outcome is the Ten of Wands. Is he investigating him? I think he is, but I think a decision's going to be made, and there may not be any further investigation into him. It just might be too hard to prove his involvement in this beyond, oh, I was just trying to help the president because I believed what the president was telling me. So I did what I put together. Yeah, I put together that amicus and everything, but that's because I believe what he told me. I didn't realize he was lying. And now Jack Smith and team have to sort of look at it and say, yeah, can we prove this? This would be a difficult case to win. No, again, the feds like to win 95% of their cases. They don't like losing. So this might be something where they let it go at this point. Not the result I want to hear. Not the result you want to hear. But if I'm interpreting the cards, even in my most biased of fashions, that's a reasonable interpretation. Energy can change, though. People can testify. Things can be found. Nothing's written in stone. Well, the commandments 11 through 15 were written in stone, but clearly they got dropped. So you only get 10. Neater. Okay. To follow up on Kim from Intuit Views prediction, I think she saw him leaving in the summertime. And I saw it earlier. I saw it in the January, February timeframe. Will Mike Johnson be removed from the House speakership, say, by the end of February? Or let's say the equinox. The equinox is always a good one. Before the equinox of 2024. You know, spirits and time and calendars, you know. Such a human thing. Maybe they can figure out the energies of the equinox. Maybe we can use that as an energy source. Will Mike Johnson be out as Speaker of the House come the spring equinox of 2024? Knight of Cups, false friend. There's a distinct possibility. Let's take a look. Yeah. Yes. He's again. I saw it at the end of January, beginning of February, but I think by March, near the end of March, he's gone. He has proven to be a false friend, both to the MAGAs and the conservatives, and he's leaving. He is leaving. He's embattled. He's absolutely embattled. And this has got to be with the budgets. This has to be the budgets, the budget extensions, government shutdowns, Ukraine funding, and all the craziness that the MAGA folks. Yeah, he wasn't up to the task. Nobody's up to the task, but he absolutely was not up to the task for this job. In the past, here's the budget. We're in the wintertime discussing the budget. So the budget. Here's the budget in the past. Trying to appease everybody in the budget. I still think there's going to be a shutdown here. The government shutting down, which appeases the MAGA folks, but pisses off the conservatives. Yeah, and that's in the past. And then what happens? And then I think the budget finally goes through. And there's just so much unhappiness with that, and it's almost like somebody new is coming in. There's a movement afoot to bring in change and bring in somebody new. So after the whole budget fiasco is done, he knows the writing's on the wall, so he's making plans to leave. Maybe he leaves before they vote him out. Yeah, when the budget's done, when they finally send something over to the Senate. And he sees it go to the Senate because it's then going to go to the presidency. He knows it's decision time. He knows his number is up at that point. And there's Biden. I think the Democrats get what they want out of the budget. Biden signs it. King of Cups. And it also has to make a mature decision too. Oh, God. Done. Biden signs it. He's done. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Does that happen before the equinox? Yes. How long is if there's a government shutdown, how long it takes the budget to get through? That part I don't know. But my cards and my previous predictions that he, basically by the time he doesn't really survive the budget. So it's like McCarthy. He comes up with whatever compromise he does to get the budget approved, and it's going to get through. I don't think they could kick the can down the road again and continue funding. But I think in this case, whatever that extension is, he's done. By springtime, he is done and leaving. I don't have a drink here with me. But the new House Speaker could somebody like Liz Cheney be a good choice a probable choice for a new House Speaker. It's more fun to tease you. I'm smitten with her. She is a year younger than me. Wow. And a whole 8 months younger than my wife. Trading Michelle in for the new model. Yeah, no. Okay. Liz Cheney, House Speakership. What's the energy around that? King of Cups. Mature, serious-minded, emotionally mature, serious-minded individual. Again, was kind of what you want. Ooh, and that was up in that position before, wasn't it? I wonder if somebody's waiting in the wings here. Page of Swords. Spy in the camp. New person at doing that. Coming back in. It's a woman. Young woman. Now, when somebody could debate if 57 or 58 years old is young, but 57 is young, but, you know, a younger person coming in here, that energy, and somebody who's been sacrificed before, but is going to bring a different perspective. I still think it's Liz Cheney, man. It's somebody like that. In the past, Queen of Swords. I know readers have used this as Nancy Pelosi. I've often described Liz Cheney as basically the Nancy Pelosi of the Republican Party. They're of that same energy, in that same... they're cut from the same cloth, it's just opposite ends of the cloth. That person is currently not in the party. They walked away. They're away from the party. There's a whole DNA, heritage, lineage. It's somebody of money, somebody of political lineage. I'm going to force this thing to be Liz Cheney, aren't I? Previous government experience. Somebody who knows how to be in the government, and they're like a knight in shining armor. They come in quickly to save the day type of thing. It's a fast choice to bring that person in. I'm telling you, it's Liz Cheney. And if it's not Liz Cheney, it's Liz Cheney-like. So I don't know who that is, who would be Liz Cheney-like, but it would be like Liz Cheney. Now, it would be funny, and I've had a couple people point out, at the rate the Republicans are being expelled from Congress, retiring from Congress, or taking other positions outside of Congress, if the Republicans aren't careful, a few more people being removed or retiring, and all of a sudden the Democrats can be in the majority again. And then y'all can have your Hakeem Jeffries in 2024. I really don't see it until 2025. But that's a possibility. That's a path that could go down. You know, the Republicans are down to like a 2-seat majority. They better be careful that they don't have any defections or nobody dies, as Marjorie Taylor Greene says. Otherwise, the Democrats will be in charge. Huzzah. But Mike Johnson. And then that goes into it. If he's removed as Speaker of the House, I wonder if he resigns after that too. If he's removed as Speaker of the House, then maybe Jack Smith's investigation on him lightens up. Especially if he leaves Congress. And then they'd have a majority of one. You know, these are really, really stressful times. But I see something like this, and, you know, it's kind of like there's this really snarky, cynical punchline to the joke that's coming. That you've suffered through all of this, and then you get this punchline, and it's going to make you cackle as evilly as I do. Because of the karma that comes with it, and how everything's a double-edged sword. And it would just be apropos. Can you imagine the look on the MAGA people's face if Liz Cheney was put in as the House Speaker? Because there is no love lost between her and them. None. Again, if she gets in, and I know a lot of you don't want it because you're never Cheneys, and I get it, but think about if you were in her party and you betrayed her and threw her under the bus. the retribution that woman have. She'll govern. Don't get me wrong, she'll govern, but man, oh man, are things going to be uncomfortable for some people. They're going to go through some things. Anyways, thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for all your kind words and your likes and your shares and everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so that my videos make it out to a wider audience. And to the new audience, to the new members, not members, new subscribers. I don't have a membership program yet. To the new subscribers, thank you for finding me. Thank you for watching this video or my videos. Thank you for engaging with this. I hope you found it informative, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.